Hi, I'm Samala and I'm here with my beautiful client Lizzie, and she wanted to come here and chat with me and share about her amazing success working with me. So, hi Lizzie, thanks for coming.
Hi, Samala. Thank you so much for having me.
And so, what do you do, just to share with everyone, what do you do for a job?
I'm an occupational therapist working in rehabilitation. So I work with clients who've had physical or mental health injuries and yeah, help to rehab them.
Awesome, that's amazing. And what have you just been doing with yourself?
So I had a bit of a career break. I chose to take some time out. I went on a sabbatical, which was one of my big goals, and I went traveling. I went pretty much everywhere around the world, or that's what it felt like anyway.
Yeah, awesome. I know you were just sharing with me before about all the places you went to, and it's like, yeah, it sounded like quite a trip. Very amazing. And I like to travel too, so we share that. Um, and it's very life-changing traveling, isn't it? I love it. So,
Oh, definitely.
what I'm curious about for you to share with me and with people that might be watching this is you worked with me 5 years ago the first time, and then you came back a few times. And what made you come back to me? Why did you come back and work with me a few different times?
So long ago now, but I remember when I first worked with you, I was in a very bad way. I was struggling with an eating disorder. I had anorexia and was yeah, just using all the bad coping mechanisms really, just trying to get through with some uh with life. And I remember I tried regular therapy and just really wasn't succeeding with that. So I felt like I needed to try hypnotherapy. And then I had my first session with you and felt like I had some really big breakthroughs. But I also remember feeling very supported by you. The follow-up texts, like the follow-up messages, emails, check-ins, I just felt so supported. And I think that really stood out. And then obviously we did a bit of work together. And yeah, I was able to overcome quite a lot of challenges. And then I think then I came back to you for some other things that had come up. Um, but in the meantime, we'd always kept in touch, and yeah, I just felt like you were always so responsive for when I ever needed any support. So that for me was a really big thing. Um, Also, I remember having some of your voice recordings that you would record for me, and like they would really help me too. So even when we weren't working together, I would use those, and that would sometimes just get me back on track if I was ever sort of um, yeah, going down maybe the previous patterns. It would sort me back out.
That's wonderful. That's my intention, and I'm really happy that it helped you. And it kept you focused, didn't it? I guess when you listen to those recordings, it focuses you on what you love and what you want to create. And so,
Yeah,
what have you created? You've created traveling, and what else have you created since we've been working together?
yeah. I think a really big one for me has been confidence. I sort of felt when I had the eating disorder that this certain weight that I was at was like a sort of false confidence. And I felt like if I was able to keep at that, I'd be able to keep this confidence and self-esteem. But obviously that, wasn't achievable. You're not able to stay in that, in that body size for too long without having some serious health concerns. So the work that we did really helped me get a real sense of confidence, which I didn't think I would ever have in a recovered body, which is such a big thing for me to reflect on now. But yeah, that real self-esteem, confidence, and just stepping into who I am and being seen, just yeah, all of that stuff is what I really had a big breakthrough with.
And that's really powerful and really amazing because anorexia is one of the hardest things for people to overcome. So you've done really well and you stepped into your power, right? And you really used your will and you did the work. You listened to the recordings, you did the work, you read the emails, you reached out to me when you needed me. You didn't try and do it alone. Um, and so that really helped you. How do you think that helped you?
Yeah, I think I know we did so we did some hypnotherapy, but we also did some of the coaching too. And like conversational coaching really helped me sort of uncover some of the beliefs that I had. I know one sort of breakthrough that I had with that conversational therapy is, you know, was sort of wondering where that, you know, um, I obviously had a very poor image of my body, um, and was trying to wonder if that had come anywhere from childhood. And one of the big breakthroughs I remember when speaking with you in that conversational therapy was that, my mum would maybe make comments about other people's weight, never directly to me about my weight, but with body types that were very similar to mine. Um, so for example, would comment on, oh, I wouldn't wear that if I was that size, and it would be my size. So I guess that was a big breakthrough for me for understanding like, oh, that's where some of it has come from. But I would never have thought that or even had that awareness had we had gone through that conversational therapy. So that was a really big element of it.
Yeah, that's a powerful therapy, that one. So I know the first thing you did with me was RTT, rapid transformational therapy, and you got the recording and all the emails. And then we did conversational hypnotherapy. I think we might have done another RTT as well somewhere, but we did conversational hypnotherapy, which people share with me. It feels like untying knots and connecting dots. That session is untimed and it can go anywhere. It's very organic and it is just talking. And so, what did it feel like to you when you were having that session?
Yeah, it was such an interesting conversation because it really did feel like untying of knots, but also I remember just laughing in it as well because it was you're able to reflect on the thoughts that you have, and sometimes they just sound so silly when you have them all inside your head and you keep them all to yourself. Sometimes it's only when you speak them that you can hear how maybe how ridiculous they can be, or how you've been stuck in a way just because of these thoughts and you're finally untangling them. And yeah, I just remember feeling, it wasn't a heavy experience. I remember feeling it feeling quite light. Even though I was having big revelations, it was yeah, it was just more funny to reflect on how these thoughts have been controlling me really.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I mean, I've had sessions on myself too, and when you have an untimed session and no distractions and someone there that's really just focused on you, like your mirror, unjudgmental mirror, and you get to empty everything out and go down all the little corridors that you've never had before because there's time limits normally in therapy. What comes up, and you're like, wow, where did that come from? And these spontaneous memories and oh, that's really ridiculous. And when you match it against reality, it's like, what is that? Like, I can't believe I've been thinking that. And then you know what it is, right? You see it. And so now when going forward in life, it's like, okay, I know what this is, right? And so how do you feel like that conversation helped you?
Yeah, that conversation helped me so much in terms of, like you said, I think some unconscious beliefs that I had but never really knew why I had them. It really helped me understand. And I've always been someone that once I'm aware of something, then I can then do the work on it, of course. But until you have that awareness, you just end up sort of repeating the same patterns, or the patterns are difficult to break. So yeah, that conversational therapy really helped me to develop that self-awareness and yeah, the challenge those beliefs that I'd been holding on for so long. I was able to challenge them because I had the awareness of where they came from and go, oh, actually, that wasn't really a belief that, you know, I, or that something that resonates with me anymore. It's something that I learned or um, it was influenced by something else that had happened. So yeah, it was really good to be self-aware and then be able to challenge those beliefs.
Yeah. And it's like, it's like matching it in reality, isn't it? Going, yeah, that's not actually true. And then it's that awareness. Like awareness is very powerful. And then you get to choose. It really gives you choice back in your life. And I remember at the end of the session, I asked you, what's the problem? And you're like, well, there's no problem. I don't even have a problem. I mean,
Yeah,
you're laughing, right? Like, oh my God, it's been ridiculous. So, yeah, that's a powerful session. And then I remember you came back to me a few months later and you wanted to coach with me. And so we coached for about 4 months, didn't we? For a little while.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
created some magic.
Yeah, and it was only yeah, not long that you've been coaching with me and already so much stuff was changing your life and magic and things you were creating and so what was that like doing coaching with me?
Yeah, I would always look forward to sessions because I always just felt so, I don't know, I would always come away feeling so excited about life again. And I think sometimes day to day, you can get bogged down with like the stresses of work and you can sometimes lose track of what your goals are and you get distracted with obligations and things like that. And so I felt like every time I'd come away from a coaching session, I just felt excited about what I was wanting to create out of life. And yeah, and I had some, I was obviously, I'd done my anorexia recovery, but that had obviously left me with some, even though I'd recovered, like my body was still going through its own recovery, which, I didn't have cardio clearance at the time. Um, I was having really bad issues like introducing food again with my stomach. And so I was not in a very good place health wise. So um we did some coaching on that and it helped me to really get clear on some of my goals and have a bit of structure on how to achieve them. And yeah, that and again I'm now in the healthiest space I've ever been. And we did some other goals like looking into travel and yep, I was able to travel last year. So it really was creating magic, I felt. And I'm keen to do it all again over again.
Yeah, I remember you're like, I can't believe it. Like I'm traveling the world and it's all happening. I don't even know how this happened and I'm here and you were sending me photographs and I was like, wow, you're amazing. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing to see what the goals that we had set and how they have actually happened. So like to look back on that is beautiful. I really, that's a really special thing for me.
And it was nice how we got those goals too, wasn't it? We did that beautiful, the first session, as you remember, as the visioning session where we do a special meditation and we really tune into what you would love outside of the ego and things you think you need to feel good enough, but actually what you would really love. And then from that session, we created what you would love as choices to tune into every day. And that's kind of the structure. And it really helped you stay focused, doesn't it? I mean, it does for me, right? So is that how you felt? Like it helps you stay focused on what you'd love and to be aware of what's going on for you, but then to re-choose, to powerfully choose what you would love and keeping your energy and what you want to create. Um,
Yeah.
so that
Yeah,
how did that help you?
I think even blocking out time in the day to think about what you want in life. I mean, I know people may, have a goal in mind, like maybe one goal of, oh, I might need to save some money this year for a house, or I might want to go to this place this year. But to sit down and really think about all elements of your life, whether that be relationships, your health, um, goals that you want to work towards. I just don't think I've ever sat down and done that and really focused on what I wanted in life, which was a really big and powerful thing for me to do. Because I think I've always had ideas in the back of my mind, but to actually speak it to someone else and to write it down and to call it in, that was really game changing. And I also feel that um, it was motivating as well to have some goals and hold myself accountable to achieving them because I think there's also the element of that you can have a goal, but then you get caught up in life and if work's been stressful that week and okay, well that goal might have to go to next week now. And yeah, it just really held me to be accountable for those goals. And I think that's how I ended up then achieving them because they were in the forefront of my mind and I would work with those choices, every day.
And you stayed focused on them, right? So you could come to sessions and you might be all unfocused and have something coming up for you and we would look at it and then we would refocus you on what you love. So there's lots of processes that we did, isn't there, that would help you kind of work through what was coming up for you, any resistance that might come up. Because when we go for what we love, there's always going to be resistance and fears and worries, and maybe I shouldn't or should or don't know. And we do all
Yeah.
that and then just focus on what you want. I also have a coach, right? So I do it as well. So, but I know it's definitely helped me. Um, and so what's one, I don't know, there might be a few revelations, but what's like a big revelation that you had doing this work?
I think for me was one of the biggest revelations was the just to bring self-awareness as to the limiting thoughts that I had in regards to yeah, that my, self-esteem and self-worth was tied up in, you know, an image that I thought I had to be in regards to, a certain weight or a certain size. And I think without that revelation, I'd probably still be engaging in those unhealthy behaviors and probably still, still be trying to recover. So that was the biggest revelation for me, I would say. Um,
Amazing.
yeah.
You're amazing. You're very powerful, and you're an inspiration to many other people that are going through the same thing.
Oh, thank you.
And we had a conversation just before. We just had a coaching session, haven't we? We just finished an impromptu coaching session for an hour. Um,
Yeah.
and you had a little share. I asked you a question at the end of that session. I said, "So what's landed for you? What have you got from that?" And do you want to share that again if you remember what you said?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. No, that was again another magic coaching session where I learned so much. But yeah, I was just saying that I feel like there's elements in life where I feel like I maybe have to control or um, I guess manipulate it in a way in order to feel safe. Whether that be, you know, like in a friend situation or when I'm out dating or relationships, and I think, there's that feeling of, oh, maybe I need to be more like this to be loved, or and I think the chat that we just had was really freeing for me, and just in accepting that, you know, it's it's not really on me to control um, anything or anyone, which is always a nice feeling to, uh, to have in regards to that, to let go of that. Um, and he was also helping me trying to make a decision about, I've got, a path that I could stay on, or I could choose to go on a different path. And the other path is a little bit scary because it's not as comfortable as the path that I'm on now. And there's, elements that again are out of my control, but that path is gonna, lead me to reaching my goal, which again is more travel. And I think it's that not letting fear hold you back. I could very easily say no to this new path just because I'm, fearful of what may happen. But yeah, trusting that um, I'm going, I'm working towards something that I enjoy and gives me, fills up my cup, and that's that's I think exciting to work towards rather than stay in the comfortable but maybe not really be so topped up.
Mm. And that's the thing, isn't it? It's having the end result and realizing where you are and where you want to be and what do you have to do? What are the steps you need to take to get there? And yours is travel. And so the step to get there is to make money, which you can do in this other path, right? To get to the travel. And it may be uncomfortable, but are you safe in reality? And will you be okay in reality? And you answered, yeah, I will be. So, so then you're like, okay, so you chose, it sounds like you're choosing that path, right? So you can do the travel, which is your end result, which is what you really want. And that will lead to other things, right? It will lead to more magical experiences and meeting people and spontaneous moments, and the momentum will build and things go from there and more magic happens. And it's just a beautiful way to live, to be consciously creating the life you want rather than be unconsciously kind of being controlled by our thoughts and feelings and thinking that they're real when they're not. Do you agree?
Yes, oh, definitely. I think that consciously creating is such a perfect description of what the work it is that, someone would do with you. Like you are just consciously creating the life that you want to achieve. And I think that's beautiful. And I think I wish more people had the opportunity to do it because I know that like it's been a game changer for me. And to think of all that I have achieved in the space of working with you is is amazing. And I just hope that more people get the chance to do it.
Thank you. So if someone was thinking about working with me and they were unsure, what would you say?
I would say just go for it. You will not regret any time working or being around you or in your company. It is it is game changing. It really is. I've done a lot of work with, therapists, obviously with eating disorder, and I've never had so many breakthroughs than when I've worked with you. So and I think, the fact that I'm working with you 5 years later on, different things now, different goals, which feels like a nice space to be in as well. It's not so much out of a, when I first came to you, it was sort of, I was in sort of desperation, where now it's more inspiration and I'm coming to you for, okay, I think I want to make this magic next. And so that's a really lovely space to be in. But also, yeah, if anyone is in doubt whether they'll be in good hands, you're the most approachable, lovely, kind soul. And even your voice, I know in the voice recordings is so soothing. So I always go to that too for a bit of relaxation. But yeah, I would have all the positive things to say. And I think, you know, the great thing is with you is that you're able to answer questions. So if anyone is doubtful or a little bit fearful or unsure of what to expect, you're always so responsive, so they can be reassured by you.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I do reply to everyone's messages if they reach out to me. I'll always reply with my best self. And if I don't know something, I'll say it, but I do my best. Um, and so what kind of people or who do you think would benefit from this work? I'm curious. Who do you think? I mean, everyone can benefit, but who do you think who would we be speaking to?
Yeah, I mean, I always say that anyone would benefit, and I really do believe that. I do think that, everyone should try at least once to create this magic. But I think, if someone is maybe they've never engaged in any type of therapy, coaching, counseling before, but they can feel that they're stuck in some pattern, or if they are a little bit lost of where they might know loosely what they want to achieve but don't know how to get there, or they might just need some help sort of, untangling those thoughts. They're definitely someone who would benefit. So there's obviously that that group, but then also, people who could be in a really good space but are ready to unlock the next level of life or whatever that may look like for them. That could just be bringing in more magic or setting some goals that may feel a little bit out of reach. I think working with you when you have a goal that may feel that way initially, it might be like, oh, that just feels too big. I don't think I can do that, or maybe I don't deserve that big of a goal, or I don't know. There's thoughts that maybe come in. I think they're also the perfect people to work with you because you kind of challenge those thoughts of, oh, why would you not be able to reach that? And okay, this is the goal. How do we get there? And yeah, there's just that level of coaching, but also with that conversational coaching where you can untangle those
Mm,
blocks, I think is really important too. So I think those people would benefit for sure.
thank you. Yeah. Conversational is a great way to start and then going into coaching. And we did intuition work, didn't we? That's something that's very different about the way I work is I actually teach you how to use your intuition to know what you want and to create what you want. Um, so that's something different about my coaching. I guess you probably wouldn't have experienced that with anyone else. The teaching how to do intuitive readings on yourself and others, and on things you want to create, and little meditations I send you so that you can connect to your intuition and your superconscious. How did you find that?
Yeah, that was so interesting actually. I definitely feel that that helped me. It felt like a muscle that I was building, the intuition. It just felt with more and more practice, I was able to trust myself more. I was able to make decisions um, quicker and and trust myself more, which was obviously very much needed when you're going traveling. So I was obviously traveling solo around the world in different places where you sort of you do have to make quick decisions. You don't always have that time. And so to really be in tune with my intuition, that felt, that gave me a lot of confidence. Um, and also just being able to read situations intuitively is also was also something great to unlock. I do feel like I still kept that with me, and it's yeah, it was such a beautiful thing to work with you with.
Yeah, awesome. And I did intuitive readings on you in sessions as well, tuning into what you would love and also tuning into what is holding you back. How did you find those when I was tuning into things? And we would do it together and then it would always match, wouldn't it? We'd get the same thing, or I'd see things that were there that you weren't allowing yourself to see, but you knew that they were there, right? How did you find that?
Yeah, I loved that so much. I That was really amazing to do, and I actually would be keen to do that again, I think. Because yeah, it was crazy how they matched, and it was crazy how maybe it'd been something that I'd always felt, and it was coming up, and you were seeing it. And I had never shared that with anyone, or you know, never shared, some of the visions, and you were able to intuitively read them and be on the same page, and that was amazing. And it also, I think again helps with the confidence of going, okay, this is achievable, or this is something that you should be working towards. I don't know, it just helped. I think it just give you that confidence and reassurance that you're on that right path.
Because we would write it down, wouldn't we? We would go in and we'd tune into what you'd love, and then we'd tune into what's coming up, the current reality, so to speak. And we would write for a few minutes, and then I would always go first, and then you would go second. So then we would see, oh wow, that's actually really spot on. Or I would see something maybe a little bit deeper that you weren't allowing yourself to see, but you're going, no, but I wanted to say that, but I didn't put it or something, right? So and that's really, yeah, like you say, quite like it's confirmation, right? That yeah, I'm definitely, it's definitely true for me. And yeah, there's this stuff coming up, and it can be there. We don't have to fix it or get rid of it, but it can be there, and we can acknowledge it. And then you choose what you want, and you choose to just keep creating and doing the steps to create and taking the little bridges, and you got there. You did it. You traveled the world. I didn't even know you were going, and you were like, "I'm in Turkey. Look where I am." And I was like, "Oh my God, wow, that's amazing."
Yeah, yeah, and it really is. It's that confirmation of okay, because like you said, there were things that I was like, oh, I did think that, but I didn't put it down, or and yeah, it was crazy that you had already you had you had it when you were doing the reading, you were intuitively reading that. So that was yeah, it was just a crazy experience to go through, really, and but again, a one that I would love to do again um, because it I do think it also shows, those things that are coming up for you that maybe you don't really want to acknowledge sometimes, or you kind of maybe suppress them a little bit, but they're just niggling at the back of your mind. Um, so yeah, it was really good, and yeah, it all did happen. Can't believe it, but it all did.
I know it looks amazing, and I know you said you're going to share a little reel of all your travels with me to share on my Facebook and Instagram, which I'm looking forward to. So thanks for chatting with me, Lizzie. It's been really nice catching up with you today. And is there anything else you want to share before we go about your journey, where you were before, after, tangible things, tangible stuff you can share, or just anything? It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I guess I mean, we spoke a lot about the travel, but which was, I think that we've spoken about that because that was my biggest goal, because that's where I feel in my element. But I guess what's happened from that travel is, it's also generated an idea that where I can maybe potentially help people or women solo traveling. So there's been elements from, that one goal that's branched into others. There was also, a goal for me to work on relationships with my family, which I really couldn't see repairing, and it has. There was obviously the health goal that we worked on, and that's obviously, yeah, I've come so far with my health too. So I guess it's just, you know, letting people know that whatever goal that they want to work on, or whatever thing they want to talk to you about, you will be able to support them through it. And it's something that you're very collaborative with, and they'll be able to yeah, do that work with you and be in a safe space. I think that's another really important thing that I need to add is how safe I've always felt. Been sharing things with you that I may not have shared to anyone else in my whole life. So to know that you have a space where you're going to be supported through that, I think is really important for people to know before they, if they've got any, if they're thinking about working with you and that it might be not knowing whether they feel ready to. I think it's just knowing that you're going to be there to support them through it. So yeah, that would be my final note.
Thank you. Thank you so much for talking with me today. It was really nice to catch up and do an impromptu coaching session with you and help you get clear on what you'd love for your next steps. And yeah, it really is beautiful to see that you've created and what you've created is not just for yourself, but actually you're helping other people too now as well, like other women around the world. So I look forward to seeing more about that. And you're very inspirational. So thanks for sharing, and I'm looking forward to sharing this with everyone. And I'm looking forward to working with you again in the future. So have a beautiful day.
Thank you, Samala. Yes, can't wait to work with you some more.